We want to drive crypto adoption, but banks, financial institutions were not comfortable touching crypto because they didn't understand the risk around it. They were thinking, what tools and products can we build to try and bridge that gap and make traditional, financial institutions comfortable touching crypto, right? And so one of the big issues was around AML at that time, right? Because a lot of people read in the news that crypto is being used by criminals for money laundering. People are buying drugs with it, but that's only a fraction, right, of the use case. And so recognizing that, they had the idea to develop.
I would guess that cash is still a much more popular
100%
medium for buying drugs.
100%. Although, you see, the difficulty with cash is, let's say you're in the US and I'm in, well, not Singapore because, you die here. But let's say I'm in Thailand, right? And I want to buy drugs from you, right? You can ship me the drugs, but how do I pay you, right? Because I'm not going to be comfortable shipping you a suitcase full of cash. I don't want to send you funds through, let's say, bank transfer, right? That leaves a clear trail. And so one of the issues that criminals had in the past was, how can I make cross-border payments that doesn't leave a trail to me?
And do they use crypto for that now?
Exactly, right? And that's actually one of the reasons why, when crypto was first introduced, you can actually see a spike in dark market transactions because criminals now had a way to transact that didn't go through a bank, didn't leave a paper trail.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? So if we're going to be truthful in this conversation, I think we can say that cash is still king in the world of crime, but it would be dishonest of us not to say that crypto has its place as well, and that it's a tool that criminals have been able to latch on and make some uses for.
Yeah. I mean, we always tell people it's not the technology that's bad. It's not cash that's bad, right? It's how people use it. And it's always, unfortunately, the humans that cause something to go from good to bad.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. A car can be a mode of transportation, or it can be a getaway vehicle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Guns can be used to defend, but they can be used to attack, right? And so, exactly, a lot of criminals don't understand that crypto is not the best way to money launder. I mean, look at the recent BitMEX incident.
Oh, man. This is definitely one of the most entertaining stories that have I think we've seen in the crypto, and that's saying a lot. We'll definitely have to spend more time talking about that. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. I mean, the fact that they stole $3.6 billion worth of crypto in 2016, and law enforcement could very neatly track all their transactions all the way till just last month before they arrested these individuals.
Were they using the crypto that they stole?
Yeah.
They were.
They were.
Okay.
Right? Like very shortly after, since they stole it, they were already siphoning off, a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. And they did this through, a series of different exchanges. And it was through blockchain analytics that law enforcement were able to track, these trail of funds into the different businesses, work with these businesses to then tie the identity of the criminals, to those accounts. And that's eventually what allowed them to, arrest them, seize the funds. And well, IRS in the US is now having a field day because now, they have $3.6 billion.
What happens to these types of seizures?
So as far as I'm aware, law enforcement actually gets to keep it.
Right? I think there's like this famous picture of like that room, and I don't know if where it was actually, with the room with like couple $1 billion of cash in it. Like that was the biggest law enforcement like cash seizure ever. And you hear about these like massive cash or asset seizures, right? But I think that with crypto now, it must be going to a different level, right? So, I mean, if you're a government agency that suddenly has, a couple billion added to your budget, man, what a windfall that must be, right? I mean,
exactly. And so the funny thing is that actually is now incentivizing more law enforcement to go out there and purchase blockchain analytics tool because the ROI is great, right? It's literally,
yeah. So this has been a good week for you, is what?
Oh yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
It's great marketing, right? We go to law enforcement, we're like, hey,
Great.
Our tool not only helps you catch criminals, guess what? We make you money.
Yeah, we catch you the richest criminals in the world.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's phenomenal. Great.
And so I mean, with, for example, the Mt. Gox, right? When they seize those assets, it's just a matter of them auctioning it off slowly over time, right? So yeah. It's great for law enforcement, pads their books, lets them hire more people and keep us all safe.